Hey, Alexandra, Irene, Ronnie, Amy. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? It's very, very windy here. I just tried to maybe put my mic here. I don't know if it's better. You will tell me, okay? What's better for the sound? Better when I put it inside, like that? Can you hear better? Or it's not good? Good, perfect. So I keep it here. Because it's really windy. We're the 7th of June. And I think every year, 6th and 7th of June and 8th of June and 9th of June, the day of the D-Days, it's always the same. Not such a good weather. Good evening to New Zealand. Oh, I'm happy to see Australian and New Zealand on board, because I programmed the tour early to be able to catch the people from England, of course, because this is a UK memorials, but also all the British people, Wales, Scots, Irish, and a lot of people from the Commonwealth that they have been in this war, Australian, New Zealanders, and that usually I don't, my tour, I do it in the evening, so you won't be able to be with me, but hello Hiroto, ohayo gozaimasu, but for me, for you, more konbanwa, something like that, no? Okay. Oh, the sun is coming. 3 a.m. in Montana. Janice, you are a hero. You are a total hero. So we are a small group, I knew that we are not going to be a big group, but I thought it was nice for me to give the tribute to all the people from the Commonwealth and who landed here, exactly where I am, the 6th of June. So I just wait a couple of seconds for everybody to catch the tour, and then we're going to start. So if some of you are new with me, yes, normal, because Mandy, you always, sometimes you come to my tour and you say, oh Patrick, we can't see your tour. It's normal because, we are in Europe, so it's always hard to catch you. And as I was in Normandy, I thought, well, why not doing the tour in the morning and early afternoon? So like that, I can at least give part of this tribute to the people who, in Australia, New Zealand, India, Japan, or Asia and Oceania, have been part of the World War II and can't have the normal tribute from the European local guide. Hello Mary Beth, you wake up too? What time is it in Sugarland? What time is it? Must be early in Sugarland, no? 4 a.m.? My God. You are brave. But I'm happy you are with me. Tomorrow for your uncle, it's going to be a much nicer time, no? That you don't need to wake up all the family at 4 a.m. So my friend, let's start gently the tour. And so it's a very special place because that place has been inaugurated last year for the first time. And it's since 2016 the English government wanted to have a memorials because before that the UK memorials were the cemetery where we would go this evening. So there was the place where the British people were giving tribute to their death. Beg your pardon, it's a little bit cold today. Was in Bayeux, in the English cemetery. In the UK cemetery, the British cemetery, sorry. But in 2016, the government decided to ask France to be able to build on the land at the right location of the battle of the British troops to build a memorial. And that has been done. That costed a huge amount of money. Because to pay for this memorial, the British government paid something like 36 million euro, huge amount. And also there was thousands of small donators who participate, sometimes £1, £10, £100, but altogether more than 20,000 people gave a donation for this memorial. And nowadays we have got one of the most moving memorials of the D-Day, because of course it's the most modern one and the most newest one. So here we are going to give a tribute to all the British soldiers who died during the Battle of Normandy. They are a bit more than, do you know how many, by the way, before I give you the numbers? Anybody has got an idea of how many British soldiers died during this Battle of Normandy? I don't mean during the whole war, okay? I just mean during the Battle of Normandy. Battle of Normandy, we consider it to the taken of, yes, too many, absolutely. And Battle of Normandy is, we think, it's to the taken of Caen. So the D-Day is the 6th of June, the taken of Caen, which is by car nowadays 45 minutes driving from here. 45 minutes. It took more than a month to take this city. So you see, a lot of people think always, okay, Normandy, we have got the D-Day, we have got the battle, and then that's it. No. Caen, 45 minutes by car from here, it has been taken the 15th of July. Okay, so more than a month and 39 days altogether. And then the liberation of Paris is going to occur the 25th of August. So more than another month, again 5 weeks. So altogether it's going to be 10 weeks in between the D-Day and the liberation of Paris. And the Battle of Normandy is from the 6th of June to the 15th of July. So altogether there is more than precisely they say 22,242. So lots of number twos. 22,242 men and women who have been killed during the D-Day in Normandy. So during 5 weeks of battle. And so where I am now, and I'm going to show you the location. We are right at the seaside, at the beaches where the British troops have landed. So in front of me, in that very peaceful place, it was the hell at that day. And you see there's some things which haven't been completely recovered. You see some pond, there's still some criteria of the bombs. So for you to get, they put here something which is quite interesting. They put here some panel to give the direction of the different seaside. So here you see, you've got Utah Beach. So Utah Beach is going to be the beach for the American troops. So that we will go there tomorrow. On Utah Beach, American sectors is far away over there. Here we are in the English sectors. The English sectors is after Utah Beach on Hawk Cliff and after Omaha Beach, where I go tomorrow to the cemetery, the American cemetery of Colville. The beach in front of it is called Omaha Beach. So these two sectors, I didn't see there was a little hill. So these two sectors, Omaha and Utah, are far away around here. It's take to go to the cliff nowadays nearly 1 hour. So you see by driving. So the cliff is far away over there. And so the English sector started here. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to zoom on it, but we are going to see that at 2 p.m. so you will see much better. You will see around here, you have got, do you see the blocks in the water? You see this is not rocks. It's not rocks. This is the harbor, the artificial harbor, Mulberry. renamed Winston by Winston Churchill Harbour. And this is the city of Arromanches. We will go there because that's by where all the boats are going to arrive. So it's all over there. This is not rocks. Okay, it looks like rocks, but this is not rocks. It's an artificial harbour. So the English sectors start over there. That I've just zoomed on it. This is Arromanches. And then the English are going to start, not the English, the British, Canadian and French are going to start on three beaches. So the massive beach where the English arrived was Gold Beach. That's exactly where we are, Gold Beach. And Gold Beach was divided in two parts. The seaside in front of us at Ver-sur-Mer, that's the city where we are, Ver, V-E-R, sur, S-U-R, Mer, M-E-R. That's Gold Beach. And so two sectors in Gold Beach, okay? The seaside here and the harbor of Arromanches. And then there is more at the west, two other beaches that we have been yesterday. One is Juno, that the tour I did yesterday evening, which was specially dedicated to the Canadian, because that's where the Canadian troops, 15,000 soldiers, went to Juno Beach, and we went to the cemetery where more than 2,000 Canadian soldiers are buried. That Juno Beach, we were there yesterday evening. And before that, in the morning, we went to Sword Beach, where we had got the 6th Airborne from the English and the commando, the Marines, the Navy commando, French and British commando, led by Lord Lovat, were in Sword Beach. Okay, so Sword Beach is over there. So today you've got a very peaceful place, but you see a lot of people come here and put just like that at a simple cross in the field. There is no cemetery here. The cemetery is in Bayeux, will be this evening. And they just put, you see like here, a little wooden cross to remember somebody died. You see here is Ray Lord from the 2nd East Regiment, Battalion of Yorkshire. Remembrance. Yes. The Gold Beach. What are you tending to agree? What Melanie said? Bronin, he said he wasn't a hero. I think he was. Harry Billingy, that was the name I was trying to remember. He was a great man who cared about his fallen colleague. Okay. Sorry, because I wasn't reading the messages. So 7:30 a.m. 6:30 the Americans started. 6:30 the English took the tea. It was tea time, normal. 7:30 start the D-Day for the British troop. And they all landed here. You have to imagine that here, what is called Gold Beach, which is in fact a line of 2 miles from Ver-sur-Mer till Arromanches. It's 2 miles of seaside, was named Gold Beach, and I have got a few different cities on it. And that's where, at 7:30, the troops started. As always, I explain that you have to imagine the German when they just wake up at 7:30. They were here, like exactly where I am, and they look at the sea, exactly like we do. And suddenly they say, but what do we see at the horizon? Because it looks like if there is something strange. What that? Can you imagine 6,000 boats are going to be here 6,000 boats are going to cover the horizon, and the Germans couldn't realize that looks like boat. And suddenly they saw, the light from the boat. What was the light? The light was the starting of the attack by sending bombs. And suddenly, standing here, you see like a fireworks, which was the start of the bombing at 7:30, and the bombs were arriving from the sky and falling down here. And that was also hell for the Germans here, because they were not at all expecting that. But they deserved it. So we are not going to be so sad due to the fact they were the invaders. But also we can be sad because the German boys which were there, lots of them didn't make the choice of that, but they had to do it because they had the crazy leaders, Adolf Hitler. And we have to blame more than the German people, who most of them were just normal people. We have to blame the Nazi, Hitler, the Waffen-SS, and all the people who brought these young men. Lots of them were also 19s, and they were fighting against another young men without knowing, and they also died here. But anyway, today we are not here to commemorate the German troops, even though we can have a thought for their family too. But we're going to think about the British one. So you can imagine. So after the long bombing, after the Germans received a hail of fire, tons of metal on their head, then suddenly the LCM, the Landcraft, arrived here, and the Landcraft, all of them reach the seaside, and then the English start running from here to the hill behind me. And that's where they took, in the early morning of the 7th, they took the seaside, and they could make the junction with the Canadian at Juno Beach. So that was a very important success. So I'm going up. So you see, if I'm going up, you can imagine how it is to go up when you have got 20 kilos of material on your back, with the weapons, with the helmet, running with wet clothes under a stormy day, and being shooted by the German. You can imagine how it is hard to do that. So the Canadians was over there, 15 miles away. So the British troop made the junction with the Canadian, and then went to the city of Bayeux. City of Bayeux, where we will be this evening, because we are going to visit the Cathedral of Bayeux, which is covered by English flag, in fact. And then we will go to the cemetery of Bayeux. So the 7th of June, the soldiers which were here reached the city of Bayeux. And now I'm going to show you the memorials, which has been made by a London architect, who made that absolutely fantastic memorials. There is 160 columns of stone, and on each column you have got the names of the soldiers who died here during the Battle of Normandy. And if you could see it from the sky, sorry I can't do that, but you have got in the middle of the memorials, you've got alley, and these alley are representing the British flag. So from the air, I don't know if you can realize it, but from the air here, you have got the British flag. You see here? This is the British flag, which is drawn on the floor. Okay. So as I said, there was 20,000 donators which gave amount of money, and the UK government paid for the rest. So here you see, you have got on these piles, all over the pile, you have got the name of the 22,242 British soldiers and Commonwealth soldiers who died during this battle. There are, you've got every time the day when they died. For instance, here you see 17th of June. 17th of June from the Royal Navy. You have got Finlay, Howard, Rickett, Rogers, Tadnall. Then from the Army, by alphabetic order, Adams, Alcock, Aldrich, Armstrong, Ashton, Atty, Baker, Baldwin. And that go like that to the end of the piles. So here you've got 70 names. 70. This is the pile number 70, sorry, the column number 70. And you see that go from A to H. And then if you turn the next pile, you see the next pile is 71. And you start from the H. So from the G after the H, Jackson, Jameson, J, Jenkins, and that go like that, all down, till we arrive to the last letter of that day, Ville. So you see, you have got here 2 piles of all the soldiers who died the 17th of June. And then you have got what they were. So for instance, you see, for instance, Summers, G.E., George Edwards, maybe, I don't know. You see, he was a private, so a simple soldier, and he was age of 26. 19. So you see, this is the age of the soldiers died here. 29, 21, 20, 32, 26, 19, 33, 25, 21, 19, 26, 24, 18, 19, 19, 25, 24, 33, 27, 31, 34, 24, 22, 29, 29, 28, 20, 23, 33, 33, 29, 34, 25, 32, 32, 26, 33, 38, 31, 29, 30, 20, 31, 25, 26, 29, and so on. You see? Of course, above 18, because that was the minimum age you have to go. And that go to 51, I think. So then you have got in the alley of the memorials, like that, you see, you have got the side of the memorials, which is making the contour of the Union Jack flag. You have got the alley with all the columns, and so you can pass in the middle of the columns. And of course, you can look for the name of your family one. $160 columns. 22,242 names. You see 18. Gold Junior, you see, he was a private soul, so just a simple soldier, and he was 18 years old. What does it mean, 18? Do you think he had a girlfriend? Do you think he knew that he will never raise any children? Do you think he knew that he was going to die here without, in fact, living any life? Just his childhood and his young adult name, young adult life, but nothing more than that. Yes, but you know, I was in Bosnia Herzegovina last week, and when you speak with the people in Bosnia, they tell you the last war. So when the first time somebody told me the last war, I said, oh yes, 1939. They said no, 1992. Okay, because the Bosnians have been attacked by the Serbian and the Croatian in 1992. And the war took 4 years and killed so many civilians. And now we're in Ukraine, and that we speak about Europe. But what's happened in Syria, what's happened in Birmania, what's happened in the other country where people are killing each other. And always when you think, that's what I was thinking yesterday, you know. For what we have got a war in Ukraine? For land, okay? Zelensky said that Putin has taken 20% with Georgia, Donbass and so on. He has taken 20% of the Ukrainian land. 20% of a territory. 20% of earth which is devastated. For what? To get a larger territory? You feel better when you have got a little bit larger territory when you wake up in the morning? You feel, I'm a better Russian because I've got 20% of the Ukrainian earth. At which cost? Thousands of deaths from Ukraine and from Russia. For what? For land? You know, the people who has to be blamed are the people who are at the head of the countries, not the people on the field. And so now we reach the middle of the memorials. And so in the middle of the memorials, you have got two flags which are in the air. The Union Jack, remembering all the British and Commonwealth people, and the French flag, because there is also a memorial here for the French civilians. You have got two large panels, which is explaining you the battle of the 6th of June, which is what I've just explained you a little bit already when we were by the seaside. And you see it said on that panel, the 6th of June was one of the most momentous days in European history. It was the moment when the Allied nation, led by the United Kingdom, the United States and Canada, began the military offensive to free Western Europe from the occupying force of Nazi Germany, which had overrun France over nation for 4 or more years later. British forces came ashore below this memorial on Gaunt Beach and on Sword Beach to the east. Canadian and British forces landed on Juno Beach. To the west, American troops landed in Omaha and Utah. So through the day, British Naval and Air Force supported the landing on all 5 beaches. One D-Day, more than 150,000 Allied troops landed in Normandy by sea and air. Of these, nearly 62,000 were British. By nightfall on the 6th of June, thousands of Allied troops had been killed or wounded. By the plan has worked, the Allies were firmly ashore. The Battle of Normandy had begun. The door to the liberation of occupied Western Europe has been opened. That's what is written on this panel. So this, on this big wall, you have got another sentence. Say, here are, remember, with everlasting gratitude, the soldiers, sailors and airmen from the United Kingdom and those of other nations serving under British command who lost their life in D-Day's landing 6th of June and in subsequent Battle of Normandy, which culminated in the crossing of the River Seine and the liberation of Paris in the closing day of August 1944. They died so that Europe might be free. Justice and the freedom of the world. That's why they gave their lives. And that sentence is written in French here. Libération, dignité, paix, courage, sacrifice. These words are written here in French to mention the soldiers' attitude. Of course, that's a commemoration day. We are at the anniversary time. So you've got many puppies. So here you've got the people who have inaugurated these memorials. It was 6th of June 2019. So it has been for the 75th anniversary. So it has been inaugurated by Theresa May, MP, and Emmanuel Macron, French president. And here you've got all the... We just can make just a couple of seconds of silence to give tribute to all these deaths. To give the tribute to them. Yes. When you think of your kids, it's true. You think of all the kids who died here. And imagine the war occurred, and now our sons, our daughters are going to leave home, take a weapon, and going to be killed somewhere for the freedom. My father did it. He survived. He just passed to kill. Here it's written, 4 years ago, our nation, it's King George VI who said that. 4 years ago, our nation and empire stood alone against an overwhelming enemy, with our backs to the wall, tested as never before in our history. Once more, the supreme test has to be faced. This time, the challenge is not to fight, to survive, but to win the final victory for the good of all and for a world in which godness and honor may be the foundation of the life of men in every land. King George VI, D-Day broadcast 6 June 1944. And here you've got the memorials, which are representing the three army people. So to honor the Royal Air Force, to honor the Royal Navy, and to honor the army. So you have got the flag of all the groups of soldiers, and you have got this beautiful statue, which is representing soldiers running out of the seaside. For you to try to imagine how it was that day going out. And of course the statues are very, very expressive. Look at the face. And to finish the tour, I want to go this part of the memorials, because Normandy and France had also a huge tribute for the civilians. So I will pass by the rest of the column, and to remember that before the D-Day and during the D-Day and during the Battle of Normandy, the Allied had to bomb France, had to send tons, millions of tons of bomb on France to weaken and to kill the German defense before the army arrives, of course, to save lives of the soldiers. But of course, doing that, they also hit many inhabitation, housing, many city, many people in the street, many people. That's what you hear nowadays when we speak about Ukraine. We hear, oh, the Russians sent a missile and they killed one man, one kid and two women in the street of this city, Kiev or whatever. And so here we have got a memorials which is joined to the British memorials about the French civilians. And that is a sentence said by the General de Gaulle, said, c'est la bataille de France et c'est la bataille de la France. So I translate it because it's written in French. This is the battle of France and this is the battle of the France. This memorials is a tribute to the memories of the thousands of French who lost their lives the D-Days and during the Battle of Normandy and during the Day of Liberation. For the civilian population, they were happy of the liberation, but also they were remembering, and they have got the pain of losing family members or losing relatives, or maybe because having their home completely destroyed. These French and these French ladies, which were serving in the Allied troops or were just civilians, and so please don't forget them. And here we have got that memorials, and you know that memorials, it's regrouping 20,000 names. 20,000 names. So in fact, the numbers of civilians who died during the Battle of Normandy is equivalent to the numbers of English soldiers who died during the same battle. And so these little memorials on the side is just to remember that and just to honor these unknown people who are not in military cemetery, who are not, of course, war hero, who didn't succeed or didn't make something during the battle sometime, but who lost their lives being a civilians. 20,000 people. So my friends, we arrive to the end of this tour about the Caen memorials. I hope you had not a nice time, because we never can have a nice time but by such a place, but I hope you discover and could be moved by these beautiful memorials, and of course never forget the life of these young men and some women too, of course, who died for our freedom. So after this tour, I go to Arromanches at 2 p.m. So if you can be with me, that will be very nice. In Arromanches, we will go to visit the museum of the bridge, and then we will go to the seaside to see the bridge which has been built there, and that's very important, because never forget that in 1942 the British troops tried to make a landing in Calais, and that has been a huge disaster. We always remember Dunkirk, we always remember the D-Day, but we always forget Calais, 1942, and they tried to take the harbor of Calais to be able to have a landing place in France. That has been a huge disaster, loss of thousands of men and lots of battles and things like that. So 2 years later, the Allied decided to do another way, and for that they had to build a harbor, and that's what we're going to see at 2 p.m. Then this afternoon at 4 p.m. we go to Bayeux Cathedral to see the beautiful cathedral, which is at the time of the Duke of Normandy. And it's going to be the visit of the Cathedral of Bayeux in the city of Bayeux. And then at 6 p.m., if I'm right, we go to the cemetery, that time to see the graves and the memorials for the British and Commonwealth soldiers. Mulberry, absolutely the key. You never heard, so check. You will see Battle of Calais, 1942, one of the awfulest defeat of the Allies, trying to get the harbor of Calais, and they failed. So my friend, thank you to have been with me. Thank you for a donation too, of course, because you know, even if it's very moving, it's also my job. So thank you for that, because it's quite a long trip and a lot of preparation. So thank you for your help and to help me to carry on doing this kind of tour. And so yes, long day for me. Many tours today. So I need all my batteries, gimbal, and whatever I have, because it's going to be a long day, and I'm just going to get some rest in the car, driving from one place to another place, because the rest of the time, it's for me, it's a bit like the title, you know, the longest day. But for me, it's not a movie. For me, it's just my reality. So I'm going to finish now. If you have no more questions, I wish you a very good time, and maybe say good night to some New Zealand or Australian friends, or maybe see them at 2 p.m. For the tour in Arromanches, which is going to be the second part of this tour here. Take a great care of yourself. Thank you so much, and see you soon.